The NES was the legendary video game console the industry truly needed in the mid-80s. Like the famed Erdrick in the Dragon Warrior franchise, the NES slayed the fierce dragon which was a 1983 North American video game crash. By 1988, 11 million Japanese households had a Famicom, and Nintendo was about to witness a similar monumental market growth with the NES in America. By 1990, an incredible one-third of American households were playing the NES, hopefully with the power button on. The NES wasn't just a household name, it was the reason why your parents called every console after that a Nintendo. Today we'll be presenting our top 8 NES games based upon their objective relevances. How about awesomeness instead? You all cool with that? I sure hope so. And just in case you didn't already know things like Samus was a butt-kicking heroine, well, prepare to have your mind blown. Just a quick note that these are our opinions and our opinions alone, but feel free to comment with yours below. Smashing, baby, yeah! And finally, if you enjoy our video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Do it for all the younger siblings in the world who are proud to play as Luigi. Number 8. Metroid. Metroid blasted onto the video game scene and quickly captivated gamers who enjoyed being thrown into the middle of a critical science fiction-esque mission full of deep exploration, challenging bosses, and an unforgettable heroine. Beginning Samus's mission to destroy the evil space pirates and their leader Mother Brain was a fun challenge as you started discovering new types of enemies and either how to destroy or avoid them in order to advance, picking up useful item and weapon upgrades that allowed you to explore new areas of the game. Adventuring through the ultra cool but potentially dangerous sections of the planet was just as fun as it was challenging at times. You eventually get to Turian, where you battle the game's namesake enemies, and square off with the final boss Mother Brain. Shoot those missiles, Samus, let's end this. Then, of course, that daring escape to the top. Fulfilling a mission never felt so good, and so cool to see Samus's best ending. Just note the complex password system. Try Dragon Ball Z for a cool new way to play an unforgettable and truly exhilarating game that started what may be one of gaming's best franchises. Number 7. Dragon Warrior III. The Dragon Warrior, or Dragon Quest for my Japanese friends series, puts you in charge of a legendary descendant of the great hero Erdrick. There were so many great NES RPGs, but Dragon Warrior III had the most compelling combination of traditional as well as innovative RPG themes and components. One of the new and exciting features of the series that Dragon Warrior III provided was the ability to personally develop your own characters. I mean, where else can you have a hero named Playa, a soldier named Miss Marvel, a pilgrim named Eastwood, and can't forget my main man, a wizard named Gandalf. Now let's make sure they are all added to the party and then start the epic quest to rid the world of evil like any good RPG would have you do. Along your journey to save the world, you'll encounter many interesting caves, towns, towers, dungeons, and even new people so you can acquire new items that'll aid you in your adventure, such as the Thief's Key. Maybe the most exciting aspect of the game is the dynamic battle system, where you can use a multitude of different attack, defensive, and magic-oriented strategies to take down enemies in past experience levels. Until you come face to face with the Archfiend himself, Baramos, to cap off a pivotal RPG. Or is there more to this game? Only the best RPGs have incredible plot twists that have the potential to change the very outcome of the story, right? Number 6. Mega Man 2. So first of all, the soundtrack for this game is what platform dreams are made of. I could seriously listen to the music during this intro on loop for hours. It's that amazing. If this list was solely based on music alone, this is a hands down number 1. In Mega Man 2, you're able to choose your own adventure and starting at whichever stage you want to begin, where you will traverse a challenging but incredibly fun level where you will eventually face off against one of the 8 initial bosses of the game. Here you'll have an absolute blast learning how to best optimize your game routes, how to either destroy or avoid the non-stop barrage of enemy robots, with each specific stage having its own unique obstacles, jump sequences, captivating visuals, and of course, straight up amazing soundtrack. You'll definitely be challenged in some way no matter what order you play the stages in, but it's one of those rare games where you always want to come back and play it again. The epic soundtrack does a great job in setting up unforgettable boss battles where you gain the ability of each boss after defeating them on your way to completing one of the NES's very best games. Number 5. Castlevania III. If Mega Man 2 had the best NES soundtrack, well, Castlevania III Dracula's Curse may be a very close runner-up. Besides for how awesome Castlevania III resonated in the eardrums of gaming fanatics everywhere, the third installment in this fabled franchise also provided us with one of the most astonishingly creative and atmospheric backdrops in NES platforming history. Dracula's Curse took our primary hero, Trevor Belmont, through incredibly detailed, especially for the time in gaming history, gothic scenery and franchise archetypes full of dark, evil enemy creatures that must be defeated with Trevor's mystic whip and other items he obtains along the way. The end of stage bosses were surprisingly fun to play considering their mostly predictable movements as you made your way through this platforming marvel and were eventually able to not only select between different pathways in the game, but also pick up additional characters such as Sypha, Grant, and Alucard to assist you in your quest to defeat the almighty Dracula. The enemies weren't the only challenge in this game, as you were also faced with moving platform elements, all propped up and illuminated against a wonderfully unique landscape design. No matter how you decided to traverse the different routes in this game, you were sure to have a killer time, especially in replaying this game with varying character combos to see all the different endings of the game. Number 4. Contra. Has there ever been a game so closely associated with a cheat code that the code is forever ingrained in the memory of a sizable amount of the people who have played that game? I'm not sure on that one, but I am 100% sure I'll never forget the ridiculously helpful Konami code. Up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start. Thank you, Contra. You were such an awesome, memorable game. You improved my memory. Who said that violent games were bad for you? Clearly no one who played the exceptional and obviously educational Contra. As you blast your way through the stages, make sure to pick up the upgrades. Hello, Spread Gun. Seriously, want to know the best strategy for beating the game? Get the Spread Gun and never lose it. Do your best action hero impression a la Stallone from Rambo or maybe Schwarzenegger from Predator and blast on, my friend. One of the coolest features of Contra was that it didn't restrict itself to being simply a side-scrolling running gun. Gamers got treated to a wide perspective of stages like this base. Or the famous waterfall stage. This represented such a unique and innovative conceptual design, it still ranks as one of my favorite levels in any game ever made. Whether you're a casual gamer hurrying to type in the Konami code or a pro speedrunner, Contra is an undeniably great game. Number 3. Tetris. Tetris came from Russia with love and was a cultural phenomenon. In a game full of exciting split-second decision-making, Tetris starts by presenting its gamers with the ultimate decision: which music to play. What was so cool about the music selection wasn't just that you got to choose it, but it really set the tone for your entire gaming experience. My personal favorite is the third musical selection. It has a great balance of soothing yet climax building notes. Playing Tetris was exhilarating because it gave its player total control over how they wanted to distribute the random falling pieces. Part of the excitement surrounding the best-selling puzzle video game of all time was beating each brightly colored level to reveal the next group of falling blocks. It was a totally addicting joy to see how far you could get in this game before the blocks finally piled up to the top to reveal a game over. Tetris is as much fun today as it was over 2 decades ago, as the community around the game has exploded with growth, even holding an annual World Championship. Whether you're attempting to knock down a 4-line Tetris or simply enjoying the musical ride, Tetris is a rocket ship to fun gameplay. Number 2. The Legend of Zelda. Who can forget a game that provided us with one of the most iconic quotes in gaming history? It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Wow. I still get goosebumps today thinking about this legendary moment. I mean, did we as gamers ever really truly imagine that this initial franchise title would spawn into well over 20 games, including remakes and spin-offs? I know I sure didn't. Once you give Link his initial weapon, or not, depending on the level of difficulty you're looking for in the game, most of the Hyrule overworld becomes available to explore, allowing you to seek out new adventures, encounter a vast array of enemy combatants, and start figuring out where all of the game's dungeons are. Here, the adventure dial got cranked to the max level, defeating new enemies, finding hidden keys to advance through locked doors, and discovering the hidden locations of key items was all part of the magic The Legend of Zelda brought to the forefront of gamers everywhere. Can you remember the first time you got the bow? I mean, this was a total game changer and would prove to be an ongoing staple for the series moving forward. The highlight and most exciting part of navigating through each dungeon was the climactic boss fight at the end, where if Link emerges victorious, he is granted access to one of the 8 shards of the Triforce of Wisdom that Princess Zelda has hidden throughout Hyrule. Only 7 more to go. You got this, Link. Once you collect all of the fragments of the Triforce of Wisdom, it's time to face Ganon at Death Mountain. Fire that last silver arrow and he's donezo. Beating this game is a major cause for celebration, as evidenced by Zelda and Link holding the Triforces proudly above their heads. If you're looking for a more challenging adventure, try the second quest, my friends. Before we list our top NES game, let's showcase some honorable mentions. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, where Lil Mac's strategic jabs were as legendary as the final boss himself. Tecmo Bowl, the only place I can apparently witness my hometown Chicago Bears dominate any opposing teams these days. Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, in my opinion maybe the most improved sequel in any beat-em-up franchise. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go, go, go. Double Dragon 2, The Revenge. Now you know I'm shooting for absolute objectivity when I leave my favorite NES game of all time off this list. Did someone order a flying knee? Bubble Bobble. I would have never imagined playing 100 levels of adorable dino action would go by so fast. Go get that true ending. Batman. Can you believe I almost never played this game because I assumed all NES movie games were horrendous? Don't worry, I've learned since then. Star Tropics, maybe one of the most underrated NES games of all time. Just prepare for a ton of trial and error unless you frequent YouTube tutorials. Dr. Mario, proof that Mario can seriously do any occupation well when he applies himself and has an amazing soundtrack to cheer him on. Kirby's Adventure, me and Kirby just don't share the same appetite, we also share a love of gaming. Rock on, Kirby. Okay, here we are, presenting our pick for the top NES game, which also happened to be the highlight of the movie The Wizard. Number 1. Super Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario Bros. 3 was such an iconic game. Its characters, levels, and even gameplay were a cultural phenomenon. Just in case you didn't see the movie The Wizard, which was essentially a 90-minute Nintendo commercial, your early 90s senses would have still been overloaded with references to the game everywhere you turned in mainstream media. Playing Super Mario Bros. 3 was a bold testament of great storytelling with exciting innovations to the franchise, and maybe the best digital play ever produced. For real, can you remember loading this game for the first time, playing that first level? And then taking off flying with the raccoon tail? Oh my goodness, Mario can fly? Are you being serious right now? This wasn't just a game changer, it was a certifiable game maker. And the secrets in this game were craftfully hidden, so you had to use your newfound power of flight or other means to discover them and then figure out what those items were useful for. Hello, Warp Whistle. One more and I can officially and legitimately skip to the final world. Defeating the Koopalings was a great way to end each world's castle. Later, Morton Jr., it was real. Eventually, you arrived at the game's final castle, all set to knock on and then run through Bowser's front door. In Bowser's Castle, you had to employ a winning combination of quick reflexes and strategic gameplay in order to progress successfully. It also didn't hurt to be somewhat opportunistic. This all prepared you for the final showdown with the King Koopa himself. Here you had to utilize an Operation Bowser Drop strategy, all while avoiding his jumps and fireballs to emerge victorious. The full endgame and rolling of credits is entirely befitting for the massive adventure you just journeyed through. Princess Toadstool even rewards you with some of the best stand-up comedy ever. Exit stage left, Mario. Your play is officially over. Those were our top 8 NES games which we never seem to outgrow. Thanks, Toys R Us. What did you think of our picks? Comment below with what you would have added to the list. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it and subscribe to our channel, as well as turn on notifications for future videos. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, damn, it feels good to be a gamer.